Dear audience, peace upon you. Master Chinko, dear colleagues and friends. Unfortunately, I missed Toowoomba trip. I was supposed to be there, but I missed that. But my colleagues told us about it, and we saw it. It was described by a colleague, the city of peace and tolerance. Ambassador Follow from Vatican, he told us that we do need to know our tradition. And a master, an authority, in the way he meant that, an authority not to rule, but to help us to grow. And this, by tradition, when he mentioned ethos, the home, its relation with ethics, I don't want to repeat, but by tradition, he explained what does he mean. And I think he made a very, very important point, that when we talk about this tradition, it does not mean sticking to it to create a line for otherness, that I am this is my identity, my tradition, and you are on the other side of the line, therefore create otherness. He precisely mentioned what does it mean to grow under the authority and why we should have that tradition. If we don't have that tradition and if we don't know it, it is as if we don't know any language. In a broader sense, all of us, we heard about Ferdinand de Saussure and other linguistics. In a broader sense, a language that relates us to the world, to our life. And in that sense, that tradition mentioned by Ambassador Follow is that language. We think on that language. We can communicate. But that language shall not create a static identity. Rather, should create a dynamic identity. As I said elsewhere, an identity which becomes we-identity, not I-identity. And after that point, very important, mentioned by dear friend Ambassador of Serbia from this book, The Governing Principles of Ancient China. The point made was the meaning of heaven there. And he well described what heaven means there. I don't want to repeat what he said, but the meaning of physical heaven or metaphysical heaven, or no, something else. Something else which can help to create it through not interfaith dialogue, over faith, as he correctly said, a dialogue. And the main question here is the modality for its effectiveness. Okay, I have been years in UNESCO, in this podium. We talked and I heard a lot about wonderful, peaceful ideas from different religions, different traditions. Now all of colleagues are here talking about that. But it is not enough that we sit down here and we talk nice words and we hear each other And outside of this room, in the world, at this moment, it has been for years that millions of people are lost. Home, house, life, children, education. While we are talking nice thing in this room. Or like this. This was the main point made by Ambassador of Serbia, that we should find a modality to create program from this belief. Mean that to create a strong will internationally. And this is what, as you heard, we hope will be the outcome of the university. This is established for that, to define and to find that modality. Otherwise, in all major religions in this world, there are wonderful quotations, as all of us know. But upon the same books and the same religion, in the history we have said that, yes, we quote that, but in the history showed that lots of art, love, affection has been created by the followers of these religions, and at the same time, lots of killing as well. Therefore, how we can create a modality that these ideas, this wonderful piece of ideas that were put together in the opening remarks of Master Chinko, can become the source of creating program. And this is a long way that I hope that university will help us to do that. Otherwise, it will be repetition. And when Ambassador of Serbia mentioned the over-faith dialogue, I think what he means is that if you look at your faith as something that has a boundary that makes your faith separate from the other, then how can you come to peace? And he explained that overfaith means that there is something that we should rely, all of us, on something which is above religion, which is above religion. And to my opinion, it is nothing but justice. Justice is a concept which is above religion. And I'm a Muslim, I strongly say, and I will argue about that justice is a meta-concept, is a para-concept, above religion. Prophets, justice, I repeat, justice is not respectful because prophets recommended that. No, prophets are respected if they can create justice. Mean that if the result of any faith is not justice, there is no respect for that faith. It is very clear in the Quran, and I'm sure in other faiths. إنا أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط. Means that the reason of the Prophet is the manifestation of justice And this is, I think, the idea was mentioned here by Ambassador of Serbia, over faith. And it is, if you go through that paradigm, then what Ambassador Follow mentioned will clearly be said, you know your tradition, at the same time you grow under a message. It is within that context that will happen. And then the ethos, that was, I think, the corner concept was mentioned. And finally, Ambassador of Serbia said that by over faith, we need some kind of ambiance or paradigm that Ibn Arabi, for example, is talking. He mentioned them. I wanted to mention Jalaluddin Rumi, as usual, but because he mentioned, and I'm going to conclude the comments of my friend, he mentioned Muhyiddin. I think that, yes, it is true. There should be some change when we talk about dialogue, interface. When we are here, and Masachenko wants to move this movement, we mean that. Mean Sara, means some change, evolution. I'm finished. And another 5 minutes, or 5 minutes past. And that is, Ibn Arabi said, لَقَدْ صَارَ قَلْبِي. I will translate. It's in Arabic. لَقَدْ صَارَ قَلْبِي قَابِلَ كُلَّ صُورَةٍ فَمَرْعَى لِغِزْلَانٍ وَدَيْرٌ لِرُهْبَانٍ وَبَيْتٌ لَأَوْثَانٍ وَكَعْبَةُ طَائِفٍ وَأَلْوَاحُ تَوْرَاةٍ وَمُصْحَفُ قُرْآنٍ أدين بدين الحب أن توجهت ركائبه فالحب ديني وإيماني. I will translate the last line only. To be short, he said that all of his transformation and evolution in his, through, traveling in his spirit from this paradigm to that paradigm, he said that my heart now has been open and capable to receive all of these images. Why? Because now I changed my religion. I transformed it, or I made it transcendental. And that transcends is love. Adinu badin al-hub. My prophet is love. أَنَّا تَوَجَّهَتْ رَكَائِبُهُ. And this caravan, this train of love, wherever it goes, I will follow it, because there is no other phase but then. I wish the success of this wonderful gathering, and Masachenko, especially through the base of that academic challenge, in fact, that they are going to take over. Thank you very much.